of multiplication and division? Quiet hand. Raise your hand if you've heard of multiplication. Multiply, times, product. Frank, you've never heard of multiplication? Oh, see your hand up, please. What about you, Matthew? Have you heard of multiplication? Have you ever seen this sign? Yeah? What do we call this sign?
An X.
Time.
Multiplication, or we usually say
X.
times, right? So we could have 10 times 5, and we would read it as?
50.
Oh, we know the answer is 50.
Oh, it's 50. Oh.
Yeah, 15. No.
Well, remember, sometimes our brains get confused. So we could see this operation and think it was addition. But is this addition?
No.
This is?
Multiplication.
Multiplication, absolutely. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of division.
Me.
Okay, now really quickly, I want you guys to close your eyes. You ready? You're having a party at your house. Your mom or your grandma or your auntie or your totally awesome brother, someone has baked amazing cookies. My sister makes the best chocolate chip cookies. But whatever cookie is your favorite, that's what's at your party right now, okay?
Okay.
There are 5 kids. You're all standing around the table, and here your brother comes with these amazing cookies. All right? There are 10 cookies. How many cookies does each kid get? No shouting out. I want you to show me on your fingers how many cookies each kid gets. There's 5 of you standing around the table, and there's 10 cookies. How many cookies? Keep those eyes closed and show me with those fingers. How many cookies does each kid get? Seeing some fingers come up. I need to see everyone participating in answering this question. How many cookies did each kid get? Is that your answer, Frank? How many cookies? Show me an answer. Waiting on Priscilla. Is there your answer? Okay. So let's draw a diagram. Most of you knew exactly because you love cookies. Or maybe you're just division experts. How many kids were around the table?
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many cookies?
10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's pass them out. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Who's this person?
Me.
Jeff.
Tariah. Who's this one?
Me.
Jeffy.
Frank.
Me. Jeffrey and
Lupita.
Frank.
Priscilla. Michelangelo.
It will be Oliver.
Okay, Jeff.
Okay. Does it have to be these people?
No.
It's whoever you imagine in your head, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to pass out these cookies. Help me, please. Here's one for Tariah.
Jeff.
Me.
One for Frank.
Oh, yeah.
One for Lupita.
Uh-huh.
One for Priscilla.
Oh, yeah.
And this one can go
It's
for
for
Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going, right? Here's another one for Tariah. How many does Tariah have now, too?
Two. Another one is for
All right, Tariah now has 2 cookies. Well, oh, Frank needs another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. How many does Frank have now?
2.
All right. What about Lupita?
She needs another one.
Now she has?
2.
And this cookie can go to?
Priscilla.
All right. She has?
2.
And this cookie can go over to Michelangelo. Now he has?
2.
2 cookies. Did you guys know what we just did? What operation do you think we performed?
A diagram.
division.
We we just divided the cookies into even groups. How many groups did we put the 10 cookies in? 1, 2, 3, 4,
5.
So we took 10 cookies divided by, what was our answer?
2.
Did our answer get bigger or
Yes.
smaller?
Smaller.
So when we divide, what do you think happens to that number?
It gets smaller.
It gets smaller. What about over here when we multiply, what happens to our number?
It gets bigger.
Do I even need to give this lesson?
No.
You guys seem to understand. All right, let's get our comp book open and begin. On your comp book, you're on page 5. So in our table of contents, you're going to write page 5 before you move over. What page am I going to open to in my my notebook, guys?
5.
Page 5. So down here, we should see page 5. And our odd pages should be on the right-hand side. So page 5. Up at the top. What unit am I in?
Unit 2.
What week am I in?
1.
What lesson?
2, 3.
And what workbook pages?
9 and 10.
9 and 10. And what's today's date?
10 to 12. 12 of the 18.
Thank you, Angel, for always giving us an updated date. Such an amazing date monitor. Angel is the person who changes so we know which day we're on every single day. And he puts the date on the board and on the sign-in board. So, we always start our notes off with then. Thank you very much. Today our essential question is, what are the essentials regarding multiplication and division? Remember, we're at row expectations. Notice that when I'm writing, I'm starting my sentence with a capital and ending with a punctuation mark. In this case, I'm ending with a question mark. We're going to start our notes with this chart. Notice where the chart is on my note page, and you're going to quietly and quickly glue it into your notebook page. Look at Lord Minus, Jonathan. Notice I'm a little bit over in the reflect and review column and a little bit over the notes page. Okay? So it's going to look just like mine. Take one and pass one down.
Okay.
All right. While Miss Villegas passes out the glue sticks, you're going to quietly follow along. What are some features of this chart here? Let's look together. Let's count how many columns this chart has, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 columns, and remember the columns are the ones that go from the top to the bottom. Let's count how many rows together, shall we? 1 row, 2 rows, oh, 3 rows. Rows go from side to side. Let's see what the titles of this chart are. What is this word? Addition. Because sometimes our brains get confused with the symbols, let's write in what that symbol looks like. When we're adding, it's a plus sign. What's the next operation word?
Subtraction.
Subtraction, absolutely. And as we did before, we're going to write in what that symbol looks like, that mathematical operation. The next one is?
Do we highlight it?
Nope, that's just for your visual, okay? If after Josie you want to highlight, you can. Please make sure to follow row expectations, those, and raise your hand. Multiplication, let's look. Remember we talked about what the symbol was for that. So write that in, please. Frank, who's that? And the next word is division. Let's write the symbol for division. Could division look like this?
Yeah.
But it could also look like that, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there's 2 different ones for us to see. And last but not least, we have equals. Okay? And equals has its own sign. Those 2 lines. Did we write an equal sign right here? Yeah. Okay. So I walk around, I see people have written the mathematical operation signs in their keyword chart. Very nice. Let's look around. Okay. In the addition column, what words could tell us about this operation? Let's read it. Altogether, more, in total, add, plus, increase, sum, and bigger. There's extra room in this chart. If we find new words, could we add them in?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's look at the subtraction column. What are some words that tell us about subtraction? Items left, take away, left, difference, less, lower, decrease, paid. Why is paid in there? Shariah?
Because when you get money, you have to pay it, and it's taking away the money.
So if you have to pay me to borrow headphones, is it a deposit or a withdrawal on your
A
bank book?
withdraw.
Is that another subtraction word?
Yeah.
Let's write it in. We can write the word withdrawal. Wait, if that's a subtraction word we use almost every day, what would be an addition word we use every single day in this class? Let's see, a quiet hand. Think of your bank log. We do a, Priscilla?
Deposit.
A deposit, right? We deposit our daily reward money. Deposit is definitely another keyword for addition. As we look through for multiplication, let's read those together. What is this first one?
Per.
Has anyone ever heard that word?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I've heard it before, but I don't like, I'm like, what? I've heard it for like, what for? Like, what is it for?
Raise your hand if you've heard it for something different than math. Anyone heard the word per?
It's like a cat.
Purchase.
Thank you for the quiet hand, Michelangelo. What have you heard of it?
I think like you burn something.
Like purchase?
Yeah.
Okay. Good connection. A purr from a cat? Oh. You know the purr from a cat is spelt like that. And you know why? Because when you say it, okay. Purr, look at that kitty is purring like that. I have cats. I love cats. CJ, thank you for the quiet hand. Purr and perfect.
Like, per, like each person. Like,
Per person. Nice connection. So we could say that we got 2 cookies
per person.
per person. So how many people did we have at the party again?
2. No, 5. No, 5 people.
We had 5 people at that party, right?
Yeah.
So if we each got 2 cookies, and what operation do we use for per?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So that tells us to use multiplication. And how many people did we have?
5.
10.
2 times 5 is
10.
And how many cookies were on that plate?
10.
So do we see how per could be used for math?
Yes.
Right there, just what we did. All right, what else? We have double,
Multiply.
Times. Products. Twins. Twice means.
now let's read this word again, ready?
Twice.
What is twice? It means
2
times
times.
2. Double means the same thing. Let's fix that. Double should also say means times 2. Add that in, please. Notice in my notes, I just put the multiplication symbol and the number 2. So, what else? What is this word?
Each.
Each. But there is another parenthesis that tells us something special. So each can mean multiplication, but only when the answer is getting bigger. All right, we know that multiplication makes our numbers get bigger. So each could mean division when the answer is smaller. Okay? And finally in the multiplication column, what other word? Group.
Like, yeah.
Does anyone, raise a quiet hand, have another multiplication word they can think of that I forgot to put on this keyword chart?
Which one?
Can we add more words if we think of them in the future?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you think of them, raise a quiet hand and we'll add them in. The next column is what? Everyone read it with me? Division. And we put our 2 mathematical signs up at the top. So, in division, these key words, we could say each gets the same number. Did we do that with the cookies?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were fair. Each, but only when the answer is
Getting smaller.
quotient. Everyone say that with me.
Quotient.
When you have a quotient, it's the answer to a division problem. Divide. Say this one with me, guys.
Divide.
And the next one is
Equal parts.
And then half. All right. In our next column, we have equals. Now, when we're reading word problems, these signs are cueing us in that we need to write an equal sign. What are some of those words?
Is
Total
Now here's tricky. Now this is the 4th year with this chart. I used to make it with my class, and then I realized it's better if we add on, so then all the words are there in one spot. But when you hear the word than in a word problem, did you guys know it's actually telling you to do something?
Yeah. What was like less than?
It's telling you to
Switch
switch the order. Okay? And we'll look at that, but it's very important that you know when you see than, it's not just a word in the word problem. It's actually telling you to switch the order of the numbers in the word problem. Okay? Doesn't matter if you're multiplying or dividing, or multiplying or adding, but for division and subtraction, it changes your answer if you don't know that. So we're going to slide on down a little bit into our notes section and write some information in here. So if we are multiplying, it does what? It makes our number bigger. And if we are dividing, it makes our number smaller. And I put here that we need to know that division means equal parts. Like how we passed out the cookies equally. Now, Tari, I see your hand. Thank you for raising it quietly. Give me 1 second. If we were at this party and my totally bomb brother who baked these amazing chocolate chip cookies actually brought out 11 cookies, would it be fair to give that cookie to just one person?
No, it wouldn't.
We would give it to the brother.
Shh, I was gonna say that.
Would it be fair? No. Everyone else is left. Brother's like, here's your cookies. I'm going to put them down. And these aren't the type of cookies that you can cut into pieces. You can't cut these cookies into pieces. You would have something called...
Give it to another kid.
You would have something called a, say it with me.
Remainder.
It's what remains after everyone else has gotten an equal part. Sometimes in division you have remainders. That's that cookie that didn't get to go anywhere. So we could have had, if there were 11 cookies, 5 times 2, what is that, guys?
5 times 2 is 10.
So we would multiply, subtract 10. What's 1 take away 0?
1. Oh, 0.
1 take away 0 is?
1.
1. And 1 take away 1 is?
0.
How many cookies do we have left?
1.
We would write it as 2 remainder 1. 2 remainder 1. Okay? If this is something that helps you understand division, where should you be putting it?
In our reading.
In your review and reflect column. Draw a little diagram. I write out my main important notes, but if there's something that helps you, you need to put it in on your own responsibility.